Acer does it again. The Predator 17 is a super heavyweight. Not only does it weigh a lot, it also packs a serious punch. With its vibrant display, eye-catching design, powerful 1080p gaming, efficient cooling system, it also shares the Predator 15's cleverest feature, its expandable, reversible cooling system. This on top of a speedy 6th generation Intel Skylake processor, heaps of RAM and a star-bright display makes the Predator 17 a worthy device. I believe this is probably the nicest laptops I have ever seen. With its stealth looking angles and paint job, it looks like Lamborghini and laptop have made a love child. Even with its mostly plastic construction, the Predator 17 feels more durable and tightly built than the majority of Acer's mainstream laptops. But the only thing that would drive you stir crazy is the noise. Don't get me wrong, the animal sound effects go great with the whole Predator theme, but the whirring of the fans can get pretty distracting, with the fans nearly constantly kicking into full speed even outside of games. So let's look at the specs. Its key features are a 17.3 inch display, which is 1080p, the Intel i7-6700HQ processor, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070 8GB edition, 16GB of DDR4 RAM, 256GB SSD, and a 1TB hard disk. So moving on to the user benchmarks, we can see that the results for the gaming side of it is 85%, desktop 61%, workstation 48%. This overall shows us that the system that we have here is actually really good, and it's mainly designed around gaming and then as a desktop. You know, all of these here, the PC status, processor, graphics, boot drive memory, operating system version, are all in the green, which indicate they should all work perfectly in tandem. Now looking at the processor, it scored 63.4%, which is, you know, about just over average, obviously the score. But moving on to the graphics card, a whopping 98% and outstanding. That shows that that graphics card in here is an absolute beast, and I expect it to behave like one too. The 128GB SSD, I'm not sure why that picked up as 128 when it's actually a 256 that's in this machine. So a little bit skeptical there, but you know, 66.9%. I would have preferred that to be a lot higher. My personal machine, my SSD scores 89%. So that, obviously, that SSD should be swapped out with maybe an actual gaming performance one, rather than a Lighton, which generally uses for home PCs. Moving on to the actual hard drive itself, it scored 63%. To be honest, I wouldn't have gone with a Toshiba hard drive. I probably would have gone with a Western Digital Black Edition. That would have been a lot more efficient. It would have been a lot faster as well. But the memory scored 76.2%, which means that they have actually chosen some pretty good RAM memory in here. But overall, the system itself looks very promising. So let's move on and actually put it to the test. So as we can see here on UniGene Heaven, you can see in the top right corner the stats. The memory is actually running, seems to be a little bit slower than normal. I would expect that to be in around about the 2,000, maybe 4,000 mark. But for whatever reason, it keeps fluctuating quite a lot. I'm not sure whether there's anything else that's affecting that. But despite that, looking at the actual graphics here, it is running super smooth, and it is on 1080p and it is on the ultra preset. So lovely 30 frames per second. I would have expected them to move, but for whatever reason they're not. I don't know whether it's being capped or not, but I would have expected this to probably reach in around about 60, maybe 70 frames per second. But at the end of the day, it is running buttery smooth, and for me personally, that is what the sort of experience that I would like. Really good graphics and very, very smooth gameplay. Okay, so moving on to the time spy benchmarking, we did see quite a bit of stuttering, bit of graphical spiking here and there. I would have thought it would have hit maybe 40s to 50 frames per second, but unfortunately we did see frame rates drop to as low as 8. No surprise in there that it only scored 4,613 overall. So let's put this to the test in a real gaming scenario. First of all, I tested out CSGO on 1080p, maxed out all the settings, and we were constantly hitting 30 frames per second, as you can see. I'm not sure whether this is a setting within inside the actual laptop that Acer have done, but for whatever reason it just sat pretty at 30 frames per second. Occasionally it went up to 32, but nevertheless it was buttery smooth. And now moving on to Grid, this had to be played on 720p. The graphics were actually maxed out to bits. As you can see, the picture quality is absolutely amazing. I had great fun recording this little clip for you. The frames per second were well above 60, which means that the gaming experience was absolutely fantastic. So no grumbles there. And on to my favourite game, finally, Paladins. This was well over the 60s again, even though I struggle to kill anybody. You know, I'm sorry, I am absolutely poop at this game, but I really do enjoy it. You know, the graphics were set on 1080p, completely maxed out. As you can see, the picture quality is absolutely incredible. But the only thing is, I wish my performance was the same. But never mind, can't complain with the gaming experience. It gave me very, very fast, buttery smooth gameplay, so happy days. Well, thank you very much for your time, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you did like this laptop and you would like to buy one, the link will be in the description below. So thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and give it a thumbs down if you didn't. But subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next video. So until then, take care and bye.